Hey everybody, Lieutenant Joe Pangaro here for Hope is Not a Tactic, the school safety and security show brought to you by RiotTint.com, MedicalEssentialDiagnostics.com, and Blue360Media.com. All right, so one of the things we talk about when keeping our schools safe is the threat, vulnerability, and risk assessment is an essential thing for you to do. Now, I know a lot of you have done them. You get them done by the local police. If that's all you can afford, I think that's great. I did that when I was a police officer, but the reality was I didn't have time to spend like I should because I had the entire town to do, right? All the schools, the businesses, everything. But if that's all you can afford, get it because that's great. You'll get something. Somebody with a professional eye will look at your safety and security. Other parts of a threat assessment, and I've told you about this before. This is our list of over 120 things we look at when we show up at your district. And one of the things that I wanted to talk about was understanding threat levels. When you get a threat, how do you evaluate that threat? And then how do you determine what action you should take? So I do have a matrix, all right? A matrix, if you've ever used one, a matrix, it tells you if this happens, you do this. If this happens, you do that. And then you figure out where you are in the matrix and you take the action that's appropriate. Well, I created that for the schools because a lot of teachers don't know when should they report something. When should they tell you about something they see? When there's something they should look at, right? That kind of thing. So threat levels is something that comes up all the time. Well, how do I know if it's serious? How do I know if it's something that somebody just said, right? And looking at the matrix doesn't help me if I don't have any background knowledge of these things, right? So the FBI does a lot of training to help law enforcement officers understand the various levels of a threat. Well, that process can be dragged over into our schools because the level of threat is important. How fast do we react to something? Is it something we have to react to immediately, or should we wait until tomorrow? Can we wait until tomorrow? That kind of thing. So the bottom line is this is the basic way it goes. The more realistic the threat, the faster you have to act. All right. So there are three different levels. We have low, medium, and high levels of threat. Well, the first thing you have to do is train your staff to recognize, first of all, is it a threat? Is this somebody just saying something stupid? Or is it actually a threat? If it is a threat, is it a low level threat, a medium level threat, or a high level threat? What do we have here? And then what do we do? What's our reactions to each one? So when I say that we have to understand the levels, and the more realistic something is, that is what's going to push us, right? So you have a kid who's got a problem with some kids on the football team. You know, they pick on them or they have a hard time with them or whatever. And he gets annoyed and he says, you know what? I hate you guys and I'm going to get a nuclear bomb and blow this school up. Now, the threat of a bomb in a school is serious, right? That's a serious thing. But let's break that threat down. I'm going to get a nuclear bomb and blow this school up. How hard is it to get a nuclear bomb for a kid in school? Pretty hard, pretty difficult, right? So that's more than likely someone just running their mouth. I would certainly report it and investigate it because there could be other things going on in the background. And maybe the kid was, puffing up the threat, and maybe he's making a pressure cooker bomb at home, but he says a nuclear bomb. But if you take it at face value, it's not that easy to get the materials for a nuclear bomb. So in general, that's not very realistic. So that would be a lower level threat. Still has to be investigated. Police still have to be involved because we want to make sure. A medium level threat might be, you know what? I hate you guys. I watched on the news that you could figure out how to build a bomb on the internet and I'll put it in your locker room and blow you up. Okay. Let's look at what's the reality there. Can you go on the internet and figure out how to make a bomb? Yes, you can, right? There's materials you can buy in a local hardware store that can be an explosive. Kids can use explosives by taking firecrackers and busting them all open, getting all that powder. They might have gunpowder at home for whatever reasons. And you can certainly make an explosive incendiary device. I saw one story where this kid was upset and he was actually going to plant the bomb. And what he did is he collected as many smoke detectors as he could find because he believed that there was radioactive material in there, and if he put that material in a bomb and it blew up, it would be a dirty bomb, right? Very serious kind of a thing and realistic, right? So that medium threat is, okay, you can go on the internet and learn how to make a bomb. Okay, so that's a little more serious. And therefore, and of course, we're going to report it to the police. We're going to investigate it. The very high level of threat is when that student says, you know what? I hate you people. I built a bomb and I'm going to put it in one of your cars and I'm going to do it tomorrow. Okay. Now you have, is it realistic? Yes, a kid could have built a bomb, could have learned how to build a bomb, could have already built a bomb, and putting it in a car is very realistic. You can put it underneath the wheel, put it inside the car, whatever, and they're giving you a date, and I'm going to do it tomorrow. That's an immediate response, an immediate concern you need to have. So that's how the level goes, right? I've had enough of you people. I'm taking you out at third period today, right? That's an immediate kind of a threat. Excuse me. So when we hear a threat, evaluating it is very important, right? I've seen, unfortunately, I've seen districts who haven't trained everybody and somebody gets this information and they don't act on it appropriately. So one example I can give you, there was a student made some comments about attacking some kids in the school, specific kids, didn't like them, was going to attack them. Sent a social media message to some other kids and said, hey, tomorrow, man, is the day. I'm getting these kids tomorrow, right? That kid told his mom. His mom called the school, told the school, hey, this kid said this. My son heard it. And he sent them a text and, he's going to get these kids tomorrow. And the person who took the message said, okay, I will let the vice principal know, who's in charge of safety and security, and I'll notify the vice principal. And this person called the vice principal, who was at a doctor's appointment, and his phone was off, and the message went to his voicemail. He finished his doctor's appointment. This was in the afternoon, late afternoon, and went home and didn't check his messages. The next morning, he wakes up, getting ready to go to school, and he looks and he sees the message on the phone. Oh my gosh, today's the day. This came in to me yesterday, but nobody called me. I didn't realize, I didn't get the message. And he's calling the principal's calling other people. And now they're trying to figure out what to do. And the buses are already rolling. So the attack could have taken place at a bus stop. It could have taken place on the bus. It could take place as soon as the kids get out of the bus or sometime during the day. This was a dangerous situation. And it was missed because, oh, well, I left it on voicemail. Right? So one of the things you have to do is create a policy. And this was the policy I helped them create. When anybody gets any information of a potential threat, you don't just call one person. You use a team of people, right? That is part of your safety team. Everyone has to be notified, and it has to be a voice-to-voice contact, not a voicemail, not a text message, nothing like that. Voice-to-voice, which means I have to speak to someone, either in person. Hello, Vice Principal Jones. This threat came in. You should know about it. On the phone. Hello, how are you? Good. Listen, sorry to bother you. We got this threat. I'm letting you know. Right? Voice to voice. No text messages, no emails. You have got to speak to somebody. And if you do that to everybody, say you have 4 people on your team, and 3 of them are at the doctor's office. One of them is going to get the message, and that person can then begin the investigation, contact the police, whatever they have to do. So keep that in mind, the different levels of threat. You evaluate it by what the person says they're going to do, how realistic is it what they're going to do, and is there a timeline involved? And then you take the appropriate action. In all of these cases, we're going to notify the police for any kind of a threat. We're going to conduct an investigation. And we want to make sure that the important people who make those decisions know about the threat as much in advance as possible. So set up a policy that you have to notify until you talk to a human being that's in that chain of command and say, we have this threat information. You don't stop calling people. All right. So that's one way we help keep our schools safe and secure, because these young people, they do tell people that they're going to do things. They send out social media posts. They do all kinds of things to tell us that they're having a problem and that they're going to erupt in violence. And the more time we have to prepare for it and to react to it, the safer we're all going to be. All right, so I appreciate you being here. This is Lieutenant Joe for Hope is Not a Tactic. Tell all your teacher friends. Could you tell all your administrators, please? Like and subscribe to the channel. And we're going to have more and more programs coming forward to help you keep everybody healthy, safe, and happy in school. Have a great day.